To discuss this, we are joined by Dr. Julius Akpong, Occupational Health, Safety and Sustainability Professional. Good to have you on Nigeria tonight. We got lucky this time around. No life was lost. Let's talk about the condition of this important road. We just saw from that report that the state government is working on it. But residents who spoke to our correspondents are clearly saying that there is some sabotage going on. What can you tell us about how this is contributing to such incidents?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Well, there is quite a lot to be done about safety and people's attitudes on our roads in Nigeria. Number one, the issue of poverty, both poverty of the mind and physical poverty, is rife. It comes to each time we have incidents like this. It's very disheartening to see how people throw caution to the wind and, of course, troop into these places to scoop these materials. While we keep telling ourselves that it's poverty, it's important to note that it's first of all a general attitude that people have to things like this. And it's very disheartening to see this. Really, really disheartening to see that Nigeria, it's not possible to hold their peace when they see things like this, despite the hazards that are involved. They will go through it. Several times we've had people die from exposure to this kind of incidents. Yet, each thing happens, you see people trooping there to go and scoop these products. I will continue to, anytime I have the opportunity to, I will continue to call on the National Orientation Agency to highlight, to bring attention of people to the seriousness of this matter, because we keep losing people in their numbers each time there's an incident, because each of them, maybe because of the poverty we talked about, or because of lack of knowledge of what to do when such things happen, they troop into these places and then most times die in their numbers. The last one we saw was also one where people trooped in like this. They saw some people who were still alive and they left this human being somewhere taking videos while others were busy scooping the product. It shows that we have no
quite
form of
unfortunate.
Empathy.
It is a reality. I can actually attest to that. I saw people scooping fuel yesterday on my way to work. There was a time, I understand, these heavy-duty vehicles were banned from plying the roads during the day, but that does not seem to be working. Is that regulation still in place to your knowledge?
So my knowledge, no, it's no longer in place. Again, the other thing is with mixing politics and professionalism. It's something that seems to have stayed with us for a long time. That I remember was first when Governor Fashola was the governor of Lagos State, and it made a lot of sense because, letting them move at night really helped because then it separated traffic. During the day, it was a bit easier, even though that had its own hazards too, because the drivers then took liberty to drive at excessively high speeds, seeing as the roads were empty. But again, that could have come under a lot better control if it was sustained and corrective measures put in place. It would really have helped. As against what we are seeing during the day, a lot of people are on the road for different reasons. And as soon as it happens, you see so many people are caught up in it. So to reduce that situation and prevent so many people from being impacted negatively would have made quite some sense to regulate whatever were the shortcomings from that regulation, and then of course to insist that it stays on rather than now that it doesn't exist at all. We see them on our roads every now and then in the afternoon struggling the road with Okada riders and commercial bus riders and the rest of them. It makes chaos of our society and is one too many. These things are getting too many and it's drawing closer to when a big catastrophe will happen. Unfortunately, we just see speeches after it happens and then a couple of days later it's gone. This is wrong.
All right, in specific terms, if you can, added to what you've already said, are there other ways we can minimize the reoccurrence of such incidents particularly in Lagos, and considering the proximity of that location to the ports?
Thank you very much. I think that's the question to ask at this time. Yes, there are quite a couple of things that can be done. Number one, after the last one, I think the Federal Road Safety Corps came up with quite a number of regulations and a number of standards that can be followed whenever these kind of things happen. I mean, to prevent these kind of things from happening. There is a law about 29-page document that was issued by the Federal Road Safety Corps detailing safety requirements and guidelines for articulated lorries, tankers, and trailers, their operations in different areas in Nigeria. These things talked a lot about, I mean, it's a huge document. It starts from registering it when you have acquired. What do you do to register it so that it's recognized as duly legally operational within this? And that was important because it needs to be checked to know the quality of what you've bought, not that you've just go to refurbish something and put on the road to carry heavy loads. And then after registration, before use to the port where you're going to use it, there will be different checks to be carried out before you are qualified. I mean, the driver who is driving it, the different elements of defensive driving, the driver, the tanker and lorry truck, other road users are considered, the emotions, even though the emotions of the driver, the amount of time, the length of time spent driving, all of these things are to be considered in training them before then allowing these drivers to take onto the road.
All right, Doctor, if you can summarize in about 30 seconds, we're out of time for this segment.
All right, thank you very much. So just what I will just say is that people should please ensure that we've written quite a number of legislations in Nigeria. They should be enforced. We should avoid brown envelope because these things that we take envelopes under the table, people die in broad daylight. Our society is fast losing empathy. We are fast losing the value for human life. This should not happen. Regulations should be enforced. People should have character. That is what is lacking from what I see so far. If we have character, we will insist that legislations that have been made are implemented to the letter. Whether the truck belongs to your brother or your friend or anybody, life is more important. We should have character and insist that these things are done to the letter. So
all right,
life
Doctor.
can have some meaning in the paper.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate it.